What's your thoughts on passive income, Alex? And is it something we should be aspiring for?
So, first, I think it'd be helpful for everyone to even define in terms of how to think about passive income versus active income. So one is that people often discuss it in binary terms, passive versus active, when it's really more of a continuum of how passive is it versus how active is it. And that way it becomes way less black and white. When I think about passive versus active, when people are starting out, I generally just discard it entirely because they typically don't have sufficient capital in order to actually make meaningful passive income, and they would get significantly higher returns on increasing their active income. And virtually every extremely rich person who's self-made, as my asterisk, generally has gigantic active income and only begins to look at passive when they have so much money from reinvesting in their higher return things, which is what got them this very large active income, that they're like, where else should I put it? And then at that point, it's really a question of diversification, which is like, how much more do I not want to double down on the main thing? And that's a completely personal question. And there is no, in my opinion, there's no right answer to that because that's a fundamental, like, how much risk do I want to take, which I see as entirely personal. But